sign the contract now.
Probably yes.
Hey, buy with me, I'll give you a discount of 2%.
What if I have never been to Dubai?
I don't do forecasts, man, but I have to check my magic ball.
I would like you to introduce yourself, to tell us what are you doing here in Dubai, what is your main thing here, and what are you focused on, and what you're keen, and you have passion. Yeah.
Sure. I moved to Dubai when I was a kid, probably around 8 years old. Came in 1990, messed around a lot in high school, dropped out of college in 6 months, probably took the money and went to party with it. But then after that, got into real estate, tried my luck here and there, had a few influential friends whose parents were always looking out for something to buy when the off-plan market was announced back in 2002. I dipped my toes in 2005, found some good options for my clients, and then from there, I never looked back. So I've been doing this for probably over 12 to 15 years now. Been in Dubai total of 32 years, touching this year, I think, yeah.
So you have seen everything in Dubai.
Yeah, I've seen the downtimes and I've seen the good times.
What are the main downtimes for?
I think the biggest one was your global economic crisis that came in 2008, 2009. That's when the market really dipped. Very few people were buying. I want to say the big sharks were the ones who were the only ones picking up properties at that time. And the rest of the general audience, which is your normal public, were just sitting tight, renting apartments here and there. My sales dropped a lot, but my major focus turned towards rental market. As there was more turnover, more people were relocating from areas which they could not afford to now areas that they could afford, which were prime spots in Dubai. So you have your Marina, JLT, downtown, Business Bay were getting more occupied now. So everybody was moving out of places like Sharjah and Ajman and moving back to Dubai. Mm-hmm. So that was one of the times that I saw where as long as you are able to adapt to move into different segments, you can keep moving and you can still keep making money, you know.
Yeah, it looks like Dubai is thriving right now at the moment. But let's talk about the reputation and real estate market here. I think that from my personal angle of view, the reputation of Dubai is going up and up at the moment. But honestly, in different regions of the world, the reputation market is much more efficient and people spend much more time and resources to bring the information to the audience, to explain them what is happening and so on. What do you think about the reputation, the collaboration of reputation market and the real estate market here in Dubai?
Are we talking about the market in general, or are we talking about the brokers in the market putting out information?
First, we're talking about the brand of the Dubai property, not company Dubai Properties, the whole Dubai property all over the world. What do you think?
I think they're moving in the right direction. They're working towards people's requirements. I mean, if you were to talk about prices, yeah, prices are up, no doubt. That's because there is demand, that many number of people are moving into the city every single day. As long as they keep doing what they're doing in the right manner, I think the reputation is obviously good right now. They are delivering on what they're promising. They're putting in a lot of laws in place to safeguard the interest of the investor. You've got your escrow, which never existed back in the day. There are conditions like if you buy land, it needs to be fully paid up. You want to start construction, you've got to have a percentage of the value of construction sitting in that escrow. So all these things makes and builds confidence for the person who wants to invest in this market. And I think that's very, very important. Otherwise, their reputation would go down overnight, you know.
Yeah, exactly. You're speaking about the reputation, about these brands, about the special objects, but we did a research nearly 2 months ago or something like that. And we see that a lot of companies and a lot of people, they don't take care about their reputation online. Yes, for sure. Everybody knows about the things you have mentioned before, the delivery, the escrow, and so on. But if you start to Google, there's not so much information about the developers, about their buildings, and so on. Why do people in Dubai don't take care about their reputation at the moment?
I guess when you don't have to work too hard towards something, you lose focus on something as important as reputation, right? Because you have money flowing in easy. You have business coming in at your door without having to do anything. You have people queuing up to pick up your product every single day. So I guess sometimes organizations do lose that main focal part, which is my reputation. And that is something, I don't know if you've been through my Instagram or not, this is something I work towards, no matter if I sell or if I don't sell as a broker in the market. For me, my reputation is very important. And obviously that is how I generate business. But I know what you're saying. A lot of people are not focusing on that part at the moment.
Exactly. We can look through the Google Maps and we find a lot of developers who have 3.5 stars on the Google Maps, and they say, we don't care. On the other hand, literally 1 year ago, I was amazed about the market in Dubai. My friend bought a flat without visiting Dubai. He didn't know where the object is situated, and he received the documents via WhatsApp, sent crypto, signed the document, and I was amazed. I asked him, John, you just bought a flat. In our countries, it takes a lot of time. You are choosing something, you are asking neighbors, you are asking everybody, is it good or not? And here, just sign the contract via WhatsApp. It is crazy, and send crypto. It is crazy. And when I came here 1 year ago, I noticed that nobody takes care about the reputation, but still everybody buy flat via WhatsApp.
I know.
How it can happen?
Obviously, like I mentioned a few points earlier, that plays a major role, yes. But like I put out even in my video content that I do on YouTube and Instagram, is that people need to do their due diligence before making any transaction, no matter how much you trust somebody that you are talking with from different part of the world. I always recommend to clients that they need to come down here, spend a day with me, have a look at the 3-4 products. Simultaneously, you need to go and see what the developer has delivered before. Right? Buildings which are 4-5 years old. And that is what will show you how well those buildings are being maintained, the condition of it, and so on. Now, like you said, back home, yes, people take forever to make a purchase. Back in India, a client would walk into a developer's office, look at what they have to offer, come back a week later, and then have another discussion about the same thing. Go back a week later, they'd go to one of their developments, check out the condition, is it maintained well or not, then come back. And the next day, they'd go back and probably put in a counter offer. Those things don't work here because the demand is so strong. People are buying every single day. People are also having this thing called FOMO, which is fear of missing out. Because they're unable to make a decision on the spot, they feel that they will miss a piece of the pie.
And they have to rush.
Which is not the right way to go. It's important for the person who's interested in purchasing something to do his due diligence. If he can make the effort, buy a one-way ticket for $1,000 or $2,000, fly in, have a look at what you're purchasing, because the person on the other side of the screen that you're speaking to as your representative or the developer's agent could be selling you the world, but what you're actually getting could be something totally different and you have no idea.
Absolutely no idea if you've never been here in Dubai.
Exactly. I mean, we do transact with a lot of clients from across the globe, and that is because they have that trust with me and my team. But we make it a point to brief them on a Zoom call, run the entire Dubai map in front of them, showcase where the development sits, give them a brief about the developer, products they have delivered in the past, the conditions of it, and so on and so forth. But if they have found someone that they can trust and take the decision of purchasing what they want to purchase, best of luck. Let's hope that it's the right thing.
Okay, that sounds nice. But still, you mentioned that you spent a lot of time building your reputation, and now your customers just entrust with you and you sell easily, right?
Not so easily, but yeah.
Not so easily. So now we can say that your reputation works for you.
I guess so.
Yeah. And what did you do for your reputation? Is it just a history of your transactions, just spreading your network, or did you do something special in the internet?
I think I grabbed on to the train really, really early. Back in the day, 2017, 2018 is when I got onto social media. We used to put out some content for YouTube, gradually growing, coming to 2020, 2021, when TikTok picked up. Started doing a lot of TikTok videos, Instagram Reels picked up right after that. And what I mainly focused in doing was giving information rather than anything else. Showcasing product was the next thing that I wanted to do after somebody reaches out to me. A lot of times I'd get agents call me up and be like, hey, why are you giving out so much information? And I believe because it's important. That is why I'm giving out information, because the person who's purchasing with me also needs to be equally responsible in the decision that he's making. He's not making the decision because he trusts me. He needs to be confident on what he's purchasing. And that is why I give out the information that I do. And that is what has helped me build the trust with investors. People get scared messaging other brokers. They come to me and they actually explain that fear. And that is what I understand from them. I have influencers that I work with from across the globe today who want to purchase properties, but they know that they've come and told me that, like, hey man, the only reason I messaged you because I found that you're trustworthy. The other guys I'm skeptical to message because all they do is showcase properties every day. You've stopped doing that. I said, yeah, I don't need to showcase properties anymore. I give information. That is how I build trust. The second you know that I put everything on the table, you're ready to sign with me, not anybody else. And I think that's very important, and that is what I kept focusing from back in the day. I'm all over YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, LinkedIn, WhatsApp. I can't get onto the Russian portals because I don't speak Russian, but yeah.
No worries. Okay, so you built your reputation through the social media, but still when you offer different projects to your potential customers, they ask you about the maybe reputation of different brands or companies or developers. So in your personal opinion, the reputation of brands, especially online, consists of what?
I'm very selective on who I work with. There are a lot of developers in the market I do not sell, personally.
Why?
Because of their reputation.
Reputation where?
Like I said, I've been in the market for a few years, so I've seen that they haven't delivered product on time. They offer crazy discounts. They offer crazy deals with the properties that they offer. When you walk into the sales center, I remember during COVID, one of the developers called me and he said, you need to come and promote our product. And when I went there, they were selling 2-bedroom townhouses for 700,000, along with another one at no cost. That did not make sense to me. There's another developer who was offering a luxury car along with their townhouse. That kind of shit does not make sense to me. I feel this is not the right way to go. If your product is decent, you don't have trouble selling. Even with the concept of everybody branding today with, I don't know, some fashion brand or car brand or luxury watch brand or whatever, this adds no value to the product, right? People are just doing this today because this is what's working today. The conventional way of selling properties is kind of slowing down for the developers that already had trouble selling properties. The high-end developers are not doing this as much. Like your big names like Emaar, Sobha, maybe Miras, Dubai Properties, and so on and so forth, Ellington, they don't need to do that because they know that their product is good. They know that the product maintains its value over a couple of years. If they want to resell, it's easier to resell. You want to rent it out, they fetch a better rent. And that is why I stick to the top tier developers that I want to work with. I do not go to tier 2, tier 3 developers personally.
Okay, but you're speaking about the reputation which was built during the years of your personal work. And you know who is better and who is not.
Correct.
But if I will be potential customer and I will come to you after my dialogue with you, I would like to go to the Google and just ask what is happening there about these brands or maybe even objects. And what do you think? What has happened there? Do they pay attention to the internet, to the Google? And especially after the COVID times when everything became online, and everybody wants to double check what is exactly happening in the internet all over the world, all over the Dubai and so on, especially be focused on those brands which they are interested in.
Like I said earlier, man, if business is coming easy to you, you stop focusing on the other things, which probably could be the most important factor. And sadly, they're not doing it. And since they are the giants, they are the big guns in the industry, there isn't much we can do about it. I mean, I know it is a part of your industry.
Exactly. Do you have customers who told you such things like, I have Googled that object and there is some bad reviews, something like that? Did you have these cases?
Of course.
Tell me more about them.
We deal with it case to case, right? Depending on what they've seen, what they've understood. They bring it up to my notice. We sit across the table and we understand the situation. Obviously, as advisor or a consultant, my job is to put out 2 to 3 good options that I trust. With certain developers, there aren't areas that I touch as well. Even with your big names like Emaar, Damac, Miras, Dubai Holding, there are certain projects where I will not step into because I know what's happening in the land bank around those areas. Emaar has 2 projects I don't touch. Damac has 2 to 3 projects that I don't touch. Similarly with Dubai Holding, similarly with Miras and so on. Because I've seen what they are building there, I've seen how much land is available next to it. So the more competition that will keep coming in the future, as well as certain locations have some very negative points around them. And that is why we steer away from them. So when the clients bring up their requirement on this was a bad review or that was a bad review, yes, you will obviously have 1 or 2 or 5 bad reviews no matter what you do, because the amount of product that you have on the table for the investors is huge. It's like not everyone can like an iPhone, right? Some people will like an Android. So I guess it's that kind of thing. But they do really need to work on it, no doubt.
Were there any cases when customers change their mind because of the bad reviews, or what did they found in the internet? Or maybe they found some kind of bad reviews in YouTube?
Of course.
Something like that.
Of course. People do change their mind all the time. There are certain clients who are just not interested to work with certain developers, no matter what happens. Even if there's gold and diamonds on the table, they don't want to touch that developer.
Okay, how it looks like? You have a conversation with them, first meeting, second meeting, or something like that. Then they go back, they Google the object, the company, the developer, and then come to you and say, oh, we don't want because there are bad reviews. Is it works?
It happens sometimes, yes. They do understand that. We put out the pros and cons on the table. And if that still is something that does not work with them, we obviously have an alternative. If they're serious investors, they obviously pick up the alternative, or they also understand the pros and cons that we put on the table, and accordingly they make their decision. Not everyone buys exactly what I want to sell. There are times they may just not like anything that I'm recommending, but they like my service, they like my trust factor. So they put out what they want to purchase, and I assist them to do that.
Okay, so we discussed about the developer's reputation. What can you say about the reputation of the brokers and the agencies?
I'm going to have so many people come after me, man. Coming back to the same thing, man. When the market gets hot, everybody comes up, right? All the mushrooms come out. Everybody wants to make money. This market is not easy. It takes a lot for a broker to make their first transaction. And brokerage is non-salaried. Brokerage is strictly commission. Brokers will do whatever it takes for themselves to get established. They're willing to give discounts. They're willing to cut down on their commissions. They're willing to do whatever it takes to make a deal happen because they know that at the end of the month, they're not taking home a salary. Back in the day, we were about 8, 12, 15,000 agents. Today, we are over 48 to 50,000 agents. Dubai is this big. The product that Dubai has is probably not even 50,000 pieces, if you understand what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So the product is a lot. The competition is double that. Now, in a situation like this, where people try whatever it takes to make it happen, the reputation is bound to go down, no matter what, because there are so many people competing for that same particular buyer. I helped an investor close a transaction just yesterday, and he was telling me, I walked out of the sales center. First agent caught me, and he's like, hey, purchase with me, I'll give you a discount of 1%. He walked a little further. A second agent caught him and said, hey, buy with me, I'll give you a discount of 2%. That's when he walked out and he's like, you know what? I just don't feel comfortable. Why do so many brokers have to cut down on what they earn, which is their bread and butter, to make me make a transaction here? So then he walked out of the developer's office. He wasn't interested anymore. But what I'm trying to say is that if the brokers can stick their ground, if they can put out the right kind of information that the client needs, if they can stop being so pestering and so aggressive towards the investor to close a transaction on the table right there and then, and if they are able to build that confidence level with the investor, he himself is going to come back and say, you know what, I don't want to buy 1, I will buy 3. And this is what we try to do in my organization, that we build that confidence level with the investor. I've heard people come to me saying, hey man, I went to the developer's office in the morning, found something I really liked, but the guy was being too pushy. 7 p.m., he's under my hotel waiting with the papers, signed the contract now. And he's like, yo, please don't come back here again. The next day he calls me up and he's like, hey, I want to sit with you. I understand it's difficult, man. I understand they're not taking home a salary and they lose their reputation in that frame that they're in. So
exactly,
there are some who perform and who have a good rep, and there are a lot more who don't.
Exactly. They're pushing too high and the pressure is too high. And in my personal opinion, they don't care about the reputation. They're just trying to sell whatever.
I know.
But today.
I know.
They don't care about what will happen with this object in future 1, 2, or 3 years. Will it rise in the price or what will be happen with this? They don't care. Just need to close the deal today. That's one of the issues. But you mentioned that more than 48,000 brokers at the moment in Dubai. So what comes to my mind is probably the market is overheated at the moment because Dubai is small, the amount of brokers are high. And how many deals? Is it raised accordingly to the number of the brokers or not?
The market is hot, no doubt. I wouldn't say it's too hot. The demand is still growing substantially every single day. I meet with at least 3 to 4 investors a week, personally. Plus, I'm able to provide similar leads to my agents as well. Certain areas will never pick up in value. Maybe the market is hot today, they will be up. But the second the market has a shift, maybe in the next 2 years or 5 years or 10 years down the line, those areas will be the ones that are most affected. During COVID, we saw some of the worst times in the market where the prices had dropped more than 50%. Now today, there are some people that cannot afford downtown. Some people cannot afford Creek Harbor. So they end up buying in areas like that. Yes, everybody wants to make some money today, all the investors. But the main idea for any investor should be that when the market hits a stoplight or when the market goes down or when the market hits a shitstorm, their property needs to be able to generate cash flow. When a market is bad, the people who could not afford Business Bay are living currently in JVC will move to Business Bay because it's more centrally located. People who could live in Business Bay but could not afford downtown will relocate to downtown. So again, purchasing the right kind of property is the most important factor. Market is hot. It's not extremely hot yet. Every single day people are relocating and they want to make this their forever home. Since now Dubai has made it so easy with your visa, golden visa, retirement visa, 1-year visa, 5-year visa, whatever. So everything is working in the favor of the city. And I think it's just going to be continuing the same manner.
Okay, it makes sense for sure.
But yeah, too many brokers, no doubt.
Too many brokers and too many payment plans.
Payment plan is good, actually. It makes life easier. Like from India, you can't remit more than $250,000 per year.
But it allows even a student to book an accommodation, to reserve it. And what is happening on the second market?
Like I said, the areas that have too much going on in terms of too much land bank, not enough USPs, those areas, the people will struggle to resell their properties. If the area is not planned properly by the master developer, who is just going out selling land blindly to whoever has money, those areas will depreciate in the long run because there is no control. There is no systems in place. You have 50 million, yalla, here's a piece of land. You got 30 million, here's a piece of land. No problem. Do whatever you want. Build whenever you want. What that does is that downgrades the area because you are allowed to build after 8 years. You're always going to see an empty plot of land. This guy was supposed to build a hotel. He didn't build it. The price dropped in the area. This guy was supposed to build a hospital. He didn't do it. The price goes down in the area. So just location is extremely important.
And who's responsible for all these areas? Who is responsible to allow him to build an hotel or don't allow him to build an hotel?
See, it's business at the end of the day. The master developer and the land department do the land mapping as well, right? So the land department and master developer sit together. They say, we have 50 pieces of plots over here. 2 of them have to be hospitals. 2 of them have to be schools. 2 of them have to be, a studio facility. The rest of them can be apartment buildings. 25 of them, 25 can be commercial buildings. Master developer doesn't want to build. He wants to sell the land. He's allowed to sell the land. It's business. You also want to buy the land because you're an investor. They sell out the land, but they put regulations. Okay, you can build up to 5 years. You need to put the structure up. You have 8 years, put the structure up, and so on and so forth. They do their due diligence before they sell the land, but they don't have control on your money. So there are times that, let's say, you put in 50 million to buy the land, but you don't have money anymore to build.
And you want just to resell it.
And then you want to resell it, exactly. So that is a possibility. So the developer, the Dubai Land Department is doing their part in making sure that when you buy the land, you pay 100%. When you want to start construction, you put 50% of the construction value into the escrow. Only then can you start selling. So this way they've got their control, but they can't control everyone all the way, right? It's business at the end of the day.
Okay, in your personal opinion, what are the most rising districts in the Dubai? I'm not telling about downtown, GLT, new stars rising. What do you think?
Personally, I'm a big fan of areas which are close to downtown. I always keep that as my central focal point. I focus on properties which are close by in about 15 to 20 minutes proximity by drive from Dubai Mall as my center. Areas like Damac Hills is okay. Areas like Damac Lagoons is okay. Tilal Al Ghaf has done pretty well. Dubai Creek Harbour on the other side is really good. Meydan is picking up really well provided you select the right developer. Not all developers in Meydan are good. Business Bay has been doing pretty well, but they do have a lot of land parcels over there. Individual buildings coming up. Again, it's important to check the reputation of the developers that you're working with in those areas. Personally, not a very, very big fan of areas like JVC, JVT, JLT, Nashama, Al Qudra, so on and so forth. I feel they're too far away from the city. So me personally, I always focus on these areas. I do not move out of here. I steer my clients away from those areas because at the end of the day, I manage their properties for them. I do the snagging, I do the handover. They want to resell it, rent it out. Basically, I manage end to end. And that's what my company does. We manage people's files. So the new area is not a big fan, but Arjan is pretty okay since it's closer to Mall of the Emirates in Al Barsha. It's coming up pretty well. This particular area, Barsha Heights, which was back in the day called Tcom, not a very big fan of the area personally. JLT, I never liked the area. Marina is too crowded, but beachfront is beautiful, but it's already gone too high in price, in my opinion. 2-bedroom for 8 million doesn't make sense.
How about New Palm in Jebel Ali?
Nakil's going to kill me. It's a nice concept. I think it will do great as a holiday home concept, but I feel it's a bit too far. Again, coming back to my previous point, which is downtown Dubai as my center, because no matter what anyone says where downtown is moving here, downtown's never going to move. Burj Khalifa is not going to get up and move to the next location. Burj Khalifa Dubai Mall is always going to be there. It's built its name over the past 8-10 years. But Palm Jebel Ali, I think, is nice, but more for the guy who wants to buy a house on the beach where he didn't get the chance to buy in Bulgaria Island maybe, or Palm Jumeirah. Palm Dera was scrapped and converted to Dera Islands. So since they missed out on that beach lifestyle, the multimillionaire who wants to have that house on the water will probably go and buy there. Apartment-wise, if they keep the prices slightly below Palm Jumeirah, I think it should do okay because, again, a nice holiday spot. But overall, I feel it's too big, in my personal opinion. I feel that development is huge. I hope it doesn't affect the market negatively, and I wish I could predict that, but I can't.
Nobody can.
But yeah, that's my opinion on Palm Jebel Ali.
Okay, great. So you mentioned different districts, but what if I have never been to Dubai and I can just look in the internet about all these districts? Is there any ratings or special websites where I can find information about the true information about these districts? Or maybe some ratings?
I don't think that does happen right now. Maybe that's where your firm comes in. But you have some reputable brokers online that people could find, not just myself. There are a few others that I also personally respect and look up to. And they would also be able to give you the right kind of guidance on which areas are good to look at. And that is why they are on social media, right? Because they're not afraid to hide their face. They're okay to put up themselves. They're okay to give out the information about different areas. So I think that's the only way for someone who's never been to Dubai. And that is why I emphasize, if you haven't been here, please take the flight down and come here. Have a look for yourself so you understand what's going on. You get to see the infrastructure.
So at the moment we cannot find the clear information about the districts. Maybe it could be some kind of property finder, property monitor, or some other tools.
You have the Dubai Land Department, of course, where they give you last transacted prices. The portals, like you mentioned, Property Finder, Bayut, Dubizzle, whatever, they put out information about the areas. But I feel for some reason that their information is kind of biased because it is in favor of their business.
Exactly.
Right? It's like if you go onto Zomato, for instance, every single restaurant has a genuine rating. But the second you go onto Deliveroo and Talabat, all the ratings are above 4.5 for every single restaurant. And I'm sure you'll disagree with me there because not every restaurant makes the best food. So similarly with the portals, they will put out good information about every single location because they want you to come back and search on their portal to find a property so that the broker can keep putting the campaigns on their portals, and that's how they make money. It's business at the end of the day.
It makes sense, sure. What do you think? If we can collect the data about the different ratings in the districts, I mean, we will take rating of the restaurant, services, real estate, and make a full scope of the Dubai of different ratings in different industries according to the districts, and it will be independent.
I think that would be a game changer. I think that's important because it's difficult to find genuine websites that don't have any interest from the third party for any kind of business. You are doing this based on your experience or what the audience's experience is, and you're putting out all these genuine reviews. That makes a huge difference. Like I said, Zomato is one of the websites where you can find restaurant ratings as per the actuals. Because if someone doesn't like something, they put it up there and Zomato lets it go live. Whereas Deliveroo and Talabat, every single restaurant has the best rating because that's in their interest for you to order food from there. Similarly with the portals. But if you can put up a website like that, it will really make you stand out. It won't be easy because you'll get a lot of various different opinions from everywhere. But I think eventually it should do pretty well in the long run.
Exactly. If we go into Google Maps, the 5 stars restaurant in Talababs, we can find around 3.5.
I know.
And the same happens in the TripAdvisor and so on.
I know.
And it is the mystery for me why they don't take care about their reputation. It's so easy to make your happy customer to leave a review for you, even not providing him a big discount or something like that. I think this just coming to Dubai and people start to understand that online reputation is very important and it changed the game. But for now, in my experience, in my personal opinion, they don't understand how to calculate profits which they didn't get because of their bad reputation. So this is most important. Okay, can you tell us more about the big projects coming now in Dubai and what will happen in the future, 1 year or something like that? What do Dubai waiting for in terms of real estate?
Lots of new developments coming up. Major focus today is areas like Dubai Creek Harbour, which is a new development by Emaar, Dubai Hills Estate, again by Emaar. Locations are prime, 15 minutes, 10 minutes from downtown. Maidan is doing pretty okay. Moving towards the strip of the Ras Al Khor Wildlife Sanctuary on those areas. Dubai Design District is doing pretty well as well, which is just behind D3. So those areas are picking up pretty well. I think Dubai is moving the entire map of the city into one direction, which is focusing now on Al Khail Road mainly, where you have Dubai Hills, Dubai Creek, Maidan, and further out of the city as well. You know, you go past Tila Argaf, you have an old area called downtown Jebel Ali, which is opposite Jebel Ali Free Zone, which I feel will start to pick up eventually. Of course, Palm Jebel Ali is there. There is another area called Jebel Ali Hills, where I've heard some people have transacted some pieces of land at a very, very good price. Yeah, this is going to be the focus now, moving into outsides of the city, because the city is growing. So you move into the suburbs.
So people should start buying there some kind of accommodation and resell then for investment purposes.
I don't think I can put it out like that people should just start buying and maybe keep it for reselling or renting out. Every single purchase is an individual purchase. It's got to have a personal touch. When buying property, you don't just go and buy it blindly. For some people, it could be their life savings. For some people, it could just be pocket change lying around. But every single investment needs to be looked at micro level. You know, you have to get into what you're actually doing. You can't just go around throwing a couple of million dirhams, buying whatever it is you want to buy because, oh, all my friends bought in that area. For some people, it doesn't make sense. If you bought in a certain area and I'm your friend and you tell me to buy here, I'm not just going to go blindly buy. At least the smart people I know will not do that. So every single investment, no matter how small or big, has to be looked at with a lot of detail. I work with some high net worth individual families from Dubai, well established, been in Dubai for over 4-5 decades. Generational wealth, moved from parents to kids to grandkids. I work with all these kind of people. Each one of them at any development, they buy 10, 15 units for any kind of development. So for each one, I need to understand where it is that they're looking at, where it is that they'll make 2 cents on top of the dollar. So no, you shouldn't just go and buy anything.
Okay, that sounds nice. Okay, so forecast. By 2030, the Dubai should reach 10 million people. Could be possible.
Could be possible. At least at the rate at which they're moving right now, yes. Could definitely be possible.
And the market will be still growing until 2030.
I don't know about that.
Nobody knows.
I have to check my magic ball. No, I mean, we all want growth, right? Everybody wants the city to grow. This is the place to be. I don't think I could move back to India ever. I've been here for 32 years. I'm sure if I go back to India, I wouldn't know what to do. For me, this is my forever home. I invest in properties here myself. I am a golden visa holder also. But we don't know what's going to happen in the future. I don't think anybody can predict that, no matter what anyone says with whatever studies. Tomorrow, something else could come up and change the entire dynamic of the market.
The same as stock market.
Exactly.
But not the same as crypto.
Are you into the crypto market as well?
Probably yes.
Nice. Interesting.
Are you?
I jumped in very early, but with a small amount of money, which is my disposable income. So I just got it on Binance. Now I heard that Binance guy is unable to be found for some reason. But I don't really follow it too much. It's just there on the app and I let it sit.
Do you want to do some forecast or predictions for the crypto during this podcast?
I don't know much about crypto, so I can't talk much. But I feel that crypto eventually in the future will be strong. NFT is something I don't understand, especially with this, what's that, crazy ape or whatever it is. And I'm sure a lot of people disagree with me on that. But the strong currencies in the crypto market, I think they're pretty okay. You've got your basic, your Bitcoin, your Ethereum. I put in some money in Ripple and all these, but I think they're going down the drain. So.
But now you can buy a property through the crypto in
That's
Dubai.
Correct.
Okay.
That's correct.
And it is strongly regulated, right?
Yes.
What do you think? Why crypto not spreading to the world in terms of real estate? Why you cannot buy in US or maybe Europe? Why don't they allow? And Dubai allows?
Dubai's always done things differently, right? They've always been the first one to take the step, and then they'll deal with the consequences later. That is what people like about Dubai, that they are risk takers. The entire world is against crypto because it's not the conventional way of doing business. Banks are losing control. People are taking money out of the banks. Banks want that money inside. But today, if I can have the money in my control and I can do whatever I want with it, that is exactly how I want to live my life.
And government cannot control cash flows.
Exactly. One of my French investors came and bought a villa worth 8 million dirhams with me. Totally under construction. Nakhil as a developer, good product. He paid 10,000 euros on his card, went back to France to the bank to release his money. The bank said, we can't release your money. He didn't even want the entire 8 million. He only wanted 50,000 euros to make the down payment of 10%. They said, no, we can't release the money. He tried for a month and a half. They did not give him his money. Nobody wants that. If it's my money, I want it now. That's why Dubai banks let you take out whatever you want. They let you deposit to a certain extent whatever you want.
But still, you should prove the origin of this money.
Of course, no doubt. You have to prove the origin of the money. It's not that you can just bring whatever it is and put it over here. And that is why I think Dubai is leading the way, even when it comes to crypto. I think they've got their own crypto entity or something like that running up over here. People don't want that kind of issues when they go to their hometown and say, hey, I need money, I need to buy a house elsewhere. And I think that is why crypto will take up in the future, maybe in the next 5-10 years, maybe earlier.
Okay. So what can you say to our subscribers in the end of our podcast? The timing is going on. And any forecast, any predictions? One more.
I don't do forecasts, man, but it was a good session. I think what you're bringing to the market or what you're planning to bring to the market is really important. Giving out genuine reviews and public feedback is something that is lacking. And once you are able to bring it in, please do share it with me. I think it'll be a game changer. And I think it's required. For an open market like Dubai, something like this is very, very important. So best of luck on that.
Thank you so much. Appreciate
Anytime.
it. Have a good time also.
Thank you.
I hope everything will be very good in the future and Dubai will continue to thrive and you will do your best work for the customers all over the world. Thank
Awesome.
you so much.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it.
Appreciate it.